Good morning, dear students. How are you? I hope you're fine. Today we're going to have lesson 1 about statistical questions. Okay, today we're going to learn what is statistics. Statistics is the science of collecting, analyzing, and interpreting data. Okay, this is the science of collecting, how to collect and analyze and interpret the data. A population is a group which, such as all 6th grade students in your country. You may have a statistical question about this population, such as what are the end of year math scores for 6th grade students in your country. This question expects variability in the data or responses. So variability is a measure of spread. It shows how much data values differ from one another. To answer this statistical question, collect a sample which is a smaller group chosen from the population. Your sample could be 6th grade students at your own school, DIS. So, a statistical question is a question that can be answered by data that show variability. The question is written in a way that allows for different responses. The question, how tall am I, is not a statistical question. It has only one response, your height. For data to show variation, there must be more than one response or piece of data. Responses to a statistical question can have a narrow or wide range of values. So I have here in example 1, decide whether each question in the table is a statistical question. If not, the question has been rewritten, so it is a statistical question. So in question 1, what's my favorite color? Of course, it's not a statistical question. Why? Because there is only one possible response, your favorite color. So to rewrite the right statistical question, so I can say what's the favorite color of the students in my class. So you will have variable and different answers. How tall is my teacher? Of course not. There is only one single value, the height of your teacher. Yes, the one teacher. How tall are the teachers at my school? Okay, this is the right question that gives you statistical question and statistical answers. Okay, how many hours did the students in my class study for math test? So the answer is, this is a statistical question. Why? Data are collected from a group. There should be variability among the number of hours reported. So here, how many siblings does each 6th grade students have? Yes, it's a statistical question. Why? Data are collected from a group. There should be variability among the number of siblings reported. So this is what's called statistical question and the answers. So in example 2, there are 2 types of data collected to answer statistical questions: categorical data and numerical data. So categorical data include characteristics such as names, locations, personal preferences, and occupations. Numerical data are just numbers, such as the number of miles each person ran or the number of siblings each person has. Decide whether the data are categorical data or numerical data. Let's see. Eye color of each student in grade 6, each student. So the answer will be categorical because each response is a color, not a number. Do you know the difference now? So the number of science experiments each person completes in a science lab. So here number, so it's numerical. Each response is a number, the number of science experiments completed. The hours of sleep each grade 6 students gets each night. So it's a numerical because I need the numbers. Each response is a number, the number of hours of sleep. The favorite after school activity of each student in your school. Of course, the answer will be as categorical, so the type of activity, not a number. Okay, here after this we are having example 3, a dot plot. Focus with me, my dear students. A dot plot is a graph of data along a scale, so with dots to show the number of times the response appears in the data set. A distribution of data describes the shape of data. Distribution of data describes the shape of data given. Distributions can be symmetrical or asymmetrical, so it can be symmetrical or asymmetrical. The range is the difference here. The range is the difference between the highest and the lowest data values. The highest and the lowest data value, the difference between the minus. So the spread of data shows the variability of the data in the data set. A dot plot shows the distribution of data here. So the study time dot here, the study time dot plot has a normal distribution. Why? A normal distribution is bell shaped. Do you know the shape of the bell? Right. And symmetric with a peak in the center. So this is the normal distribution in the shape of bell with peak in the middle, with peak highest in the middle. So it's called numerical distribution. Okay, example 4 here. Statistical question: how many hours did each student study for the final exam? So this is what statistical question. The dot plot here shows the data collected to answer the statistical question. The shape of the distribution shows the approximate center and the variability of data set. So I have here study time, approximate center. Yeah, can you see it in the shape of the bell here? The sample size is shown by the number of dots in the dot plot. So I have least value and greatest value. Least value here, it starts with the least, and here the greatest value, and here the range, and here the range in between them. Questions can be answered using the data from the dot plot. Focus with me. What was the least amount of time spent studying? Least amount of studying here, 0 hours. How many students studied 0 hours? Yes, one student. Okay, number 2. What was the greatest amount of time spent studying? The greatest amount of time studying, yeah, 7 hours. And how many students studied 7 hours? Yeah, the cleverest one is one student, just one student. What amount of time did the greatest number of students spend studying? The greatest number here of students. Yes, I can know now. I can do it now. The greatest, yeah, the greatest number of students here. Yes, these dots shows the number of students. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 8 students. Yeah, 8 students here. They studied about how many hours? 3 hours. So what was the range of amount of time students spent studying? Here, what was the range of the amount of time students spent studying? Yeah, 7 hours. Why do I say 7 hours? How can I know the range? How do you know? 7 hours minus 0 equals 7 hours. Greatest value, as I told you before, minus the least value. 7 minus 0 will give me 7 hours. What is the sample size of population? This is the number of students who answered the question about time spent studying. Yeah, the sample size, the sample of population, the number of students that really answered the question even if they didn't study at all. So there are 23 dots here. If you count the dots, you'll find the 23. So the sample size is 23. Yeah. What fraction of students studied for less than 2 hours? What is that? So how many students studied less than less than 3 hours here, you will find them will be 3 over 23, 3 out of 23 students. So I have here also what is the typical number of hours students studied. What is the typical number of hours students studies? About here, how many hours? Yeah, 3 hours. Here the typical, the approximate center here gives me 3 hours. So these are the questions and answers of the dot plot. Okay. Careers in math, technology, and science. Market researchers use statistics. Many conduct, this is facts. Many conduct surveys and gather data to answer statistical questions. They may be trying to determine whether customers are satisfied with a product or what kinds of products people are interested in. In market research, it's important to have a sample that is large enough to accurately represent the targeted customers. It's also important to limit the sample size so that research costs are reasonable. So now to practice what we have taken. Does the statistical question ask for numerical or categorical? What's the favorite fruit? Categorical. What's the number? Numerical. What's the number again? Numerical data. Okay. Is this question a statistical question? What is the favorite school subject of each person at my school? Of course, it's a statistical one. It gives variety in answers of some population, some part of population. What's the shoe size of each person? So of course it's a statistical question. Okay. What score did I'm speaking about one person, so it's not a statistical question. Rewrite each question, so it's a statistical question. What's my favorite book? What do you think? This is not a statistical. Rewrite it. What's the favorite book for each of my classmates? And the answers may vary. How many words can I type on the computer in 1 minute? I type, okay, I can say each person in my class can type. How many years has my teacher taught at my school? Just my teacher. I can say each teacher in my school. How many years did they teach? Okay, moving to the other slide I have here. Okay, use the dot plot to answer questions 10 to 13. Okay, what does the sample size represent here? The sample size represents the number of students in our math club. Number of students in our math club. What does the dot at 10 represent? So it represents here at 10 the age of the youngest student in math club. The age of the youngest student in math club. What are the range and the center of the data? The data has a range of 3 years. Here the range of 3 years. So y is 3, that we take the greatest minus the least. Why didn't I take 14 and 9? Because here the dotted here I have 13, 1 dot, 10, 1 dot. So I will not take without dots. So 13 minus 10 will give me 3. The center, and here he asks me for the center of the data. I don't have the highest one here and the exact center, so the center is between 11 and 12. How many students are in math club? I will count all the dots here, will give me 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11 students. Okay, multiple choices. Yep. Which question is a statistical question? What time did I wake up? What time did each person in grade 6 arrive? So use the dot plot to answer questions from 15 to 16. Of course we're going to do it. The dot plot shows the grade level of students who are at a park. Okay, We hope we get back to the parks again so nearly. So grades here, level of students at the park, I have here from 0 to 8, and they are going to start from 1 to 7. How many students are in the sample? Let's count: 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. So there are 10 students in the sample. What is the range of the grades of the students at the park? I have here 7 minus 1, and the answer gives me 6. Okay, moving to the other slide. Okay, lesson 2, dot plots. Okay, we're going to resume now lesson 2. So a dot plot gives a visual representation of the data. A frequency table is another way you can organize data. So a frequency table lists the possible data values and shows how often each value occurs. So the statistical question: how many emails did you receive yesterday? Was asked to 21 students in a math class. The responses are shown below. The dot plot and frequency table shows two different ways to organize data. Here I have two ways to organize your data: frequency table and dot plot, number of emails, and here I have number of emails and number of students. Here I have 3 emails and 2 students, 4 emails, 1 student, and so on. Use the data to answer questions of 1 and 2. So the number of hits, before going to this, we forgot to do this. Yeah, here I have for 3 emails I have just 2 students. Here the dots tell me the number of students: 1 student, another student. Okay, the black dots. So here I have for 4 emails, just 1 student got 4 emails. So here for 4, this is the emails down, and the students are the dots here. So 1 student. 5 emails here is written, and here the dots is the student, don't forget. Yeah, as if in the line graph. Yeah, in the line plot, and when we put we used to put the x's, now we're going to put the dots for the students. For yes, I have here how many students for 5 emails, just 2 students, put it here. And here for 7 emails I have 8 students, right? I put here 8. So use the data to answer question 1 and 2. Let's do it now. The number of hits a website gets each day: 112, 104, 110, 112, 111, 107, 105, 111, 112, 104, 106. Let's do it. We have here a table and line plot. No, it's called dot plot. Sorry, dot plot and the table and frequency table. So it's called now frequency table, and don't forget dot plot. So I can see now what should I do. For 104 hits, it's repeated how many times? Let's count together. 1, and then look for it. It's here 2. So I write 2 times. Okay, 105, search 105. Yeah, just 1 time. It appears here 1 time. So 1. 106, let's search 106 just 1 time. 107, I complete writing the numbers here. 107, let's see, 107, and this is by order, don't forget, in the right order from the least to the greatest. Then I said 107, it appears 1 time. 108, yeah, 108, I don't have here miss 108, so I will write 0 for it. It never appears. 109 also, it never appears. 110, I search for it. Yes, 1 time. 111, 1 time, then 2 times. 112, let's see from the beginning, just 1, 2, and then 3 times. So I have here to draw the line here, and it's called what? Don't forget, dot plot. Yeah, what should I do? I will write here the numbers 104 as this order: 105, 106, 107 hits, 108, 109, 10, 11, and 12, as it is in the same order from the least to the greatest. So 104 just 2, then 105 1, and 106 1, and 107 1, and for 108 and 109 no times, no number of days, don't have. So 110 one time, and 111 two times, 112 3 times.